very much indeed. It is Saturday night. Welcome to the Jonathan Ross Show. Now, first of all, what is going on with the weather? Snow in March. It's colder than the goodbye that Justin Bieber got at Heathrow. People have been told to avoid driving, stay indoors. Chris Hoon and his wife have taken the advice so seriously... I don't really need to finish that, do I? They'll be doing it for the next 8 months. Of course, Vicky Price is his ex-wife. He now has a new wife. His cellmate, Big Terry. And Chris Hoon's taken more than his points. This week, the Queen presented one of Britain's leading poets with a gold medal for poetry. Did you know about that? No, you didn't. The poet's name is John Agard, and you won't have heard of him because no one cares about poetry. Philistines. The medal was presented face up in a box, and I'm not surprised because here's the medal, here's the one side of it. Have a look at this, you'll see, look, that's lovely. Very traditional, highly respectable, just what you'd expect of a prestigious coin of that nature. Here's the other side, the side they didn't show you. It's coin porn, look at that. That is barely legal tender. This is great, I love this. An artist has found a novel canvas to do his work on. He paints celebrities, but he paints them, and this is true, this is genuine what we're going to show you now, he paints them onto peanuts, OK? Have a look at this one. I think it's incredible. This is Elton John. Look at that. That is pretty good, isn't it? Elton John's face on a salty nut. No. Of course I didn't mean that. He's also done others. He's done Johnny Cashew, the more controversial Oscar Pistachio. But I didn't think it was that difficult, so I've had a go. See what you think of my one. Here's my attempt to do Bruce Forsyth. Have a look at Brucey. That one almost painted itself. And here's my favourite. You're going to enjoy this. Look at this one of Alan Sugar. It's the dead spitting image. There you go. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we've got some great guests. We've also got great music. It's the Stereophonics playing for you later this evening. Yes! The Stereophonics. By the way, do you like the suit, ladies and gentlemen? Do you like the suit I'm wearing? It's St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day tomorrow. I thought I would... Let's see who else is on the show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. My first guest is the Doctor himself. All the way from Gallifrey, it's Matt Smith, ladies and gentlemen. There he is. Hey, Matt.
Hello.
Looking fabulous, as always.
Thank you very much.
He's such a hottie, isn't he? You're such a hottie.
Too kind, Jonathan.
You're a hottie. The Doctor returns on Saturday nights to face his greatest enemy. Anton Deck on ITV on the other side. Now, we've seen some celebs portrayed as nuts, but the artist has actually done you, Matt. Would you like to see this?
I would love to see it.
Here it is. This is Matt Smith as a peanut.
It's weirdly accurate, isn't it?
It's not bad at all.
Yeah.
It's a lovely, salty Doctor Who peanut. Goes down really well with the Cybermen. The fabulous Matt Smith, ladies and gentlemen. He'll be out here in just a minute. God, he's a hottie. My next guest on our stellar lineup this evening is the wonderful Ruth Jones, ladies and gentlemen. Ruth. Now, I said stellar because Ruth is, of course, currently starring in the Sky One smash hit series Stella. And Stella is set in Wales, but it's in a made-up town, isn't it?
Yes, we didn't want to offend anyone. So
what is the name of the town you gave it?
Pontyberry.
Pontyberry.
Or if you're American, it's Parnaberry.
Parnaberry.
Yeah.
But it doesn't sound that made up, because so many Welsh towns sound kind of made up. I mean, Abergavenny sounds kind of made up, doesn't it?
Yeah, and there's a lot of pants in Wales.
Are there really?
Yeah, you get Pantabrad, Panta this, Panta that.
Pantabras?
Pantabrad.
Oh, I thought that was a joke had written itself for us. Ruth Jones, ladies and gentlemen. All right, my next guest is one of the giants of stage and screen. He is the mighty Sir Ian McKellen.
Hello, how
are you? Ian. Who doesn't love Sir Ian McKellen? Sir Ian is about to star in a new ITV sitcom with Sir Derek Jacobi.
Yes.
Called Vicious.
Yes.
And to sum it up, if we may, I guess you could call it, it's like men behaving camply. doesn't it? An elderly couple who've been together many years.
You'd know all about that, wouldn't you?
Come in, McCullen, ladies and gentlemen. All right. OK, and we've got more for you, because, you know, what happens is sometimes we get guests that we've been after for ages, and they're all kind of available at the same time. So we have a lot in the show this week, but it's only because I so wanted all these people on the show that I couldn't say no to anyone, and I was desperate to get them all on. My next guests are from my favourite TV show at the moment. Absolute favourite. Of the moment, maybe of all time. From Game of Thrones, it's... Yes, a gasp. An actual gasp from the people who have a skybox. Or perhaps illegally torrenting it. It is... I hope not. From Game of Thrones... Someone whooped illegal torrenting. So really... Oh, that was Ygritte out the back there, OK. From Game of Thrones, Jon Snow, Ygritte and Tywin Lannister. Yes, Kit Harington, Rose Leslie and Charles Dance. Hello, guys. Great to have you here. Look at that. I can't wait to get you out here. Thank you so much for coming. And look at that room. We've got Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, Doctor Who. I should sell tickets for Nerd Stock. That's this week's show, ladies and gentlemen. They're the guests. I think you'll agree it's a fine selection. OK, just before we get to that, we've got so much... We're not going to do a lot of business this week because we've got so many guests to get to, and they're all great guests. But I wanted to tell you about this story because it's a fascinating one. It's a true story from Mexico. The Mexican drug cartels have developed an ingenious way of avoiding customs official and getting their drugs, their marijuana, into the USA, OK? What they do is, and I can see you've all perked up now... they fire it over the border. They've got a special homemade cannon, and they pack in the marijuana, and they send it over in, like, kind of like, sort of like druggy missiles. Boom! And I don't know whether someone's catching it on the other side or just they come around later. Fire it right over the border. What an incredible idea. It looks so clever, so I thought we'd make one and try it out ourselves here. So I've got it here as a laser-saving device. I mean, it's pretty good. So this is it. We've made one. This works, OK? Mine's a handheld job. Now, obviously, we can't fire drugs into the green room. So, we're going to fire some... I thought maybe they'd like some food, some snacks, so I'm going to fire some salad in. So I've got some bag salad here. I've just realised this is going to be sort of like a rocket launcher. Are you ready for this? Here we go, now. I've got to gas it up. That's plenty. Bit more. Are you ready? You got it! It arrived.
Have you nothing more substantial?
Something more... OK, how about this? I've got some tinned tomatoes. Some mozzarella. Do you like salami? How about a bit of flour as well? If I put a bit more in, you guys will get some of this. Well, are you ready for this? Here we go. Ooh, that's a lot of gas. Well, here we go. You ready? You might want to shield yourselves. Whoa!
Serie.
Yes! Yeah, all right. Bravo! Look at this. We got it. Shall we get my first guest out, ladies and gentlemen? Let's bend our collective knee to the Time Lord himself. It's Matt Smith. You look so dapper, as always. Great to see you.
Good to see you.
Come and have a seat, relax. Hello. I hope you didn't get hit by any of the debris that flew over there, then.
I caught it. I caught the pizza.
Wow, look at that. Doesn't Matt look great, ladies and gentlemen?
Thank you very much.
So, the exciting news, the new series of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And new characters, as well as some old friends back again, I believe.
Yeah, a bit of both, as always, which is...
That's what we like.
What we like.
And you're still having fun doing it, I guess. I mean, I get that impression of watching it, but you're still enjoying being the Doctor?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, can you remember the first ever, you know, sort of chat show that I did was with you?
I remember.
And I was like a rabbit in the headlights. I didn't quite know what had hit me, so... I hope I'm not a shit tonight.
You were
really.
no, you were great. You were great. You were great.
Yeah.
But you, obviously, I know you were on the cusp of a big change in your life.
I think so. Yeah. And it's such a significant change when you're involved in a show like that, because you go from, and I was doing plays, I was in the theatre, and then suddenly you're sort of on the cover of magazines and things, and it's quite drastic.
And you're kind of public property, more in that role than, you know, almost any other role on TV, I think, because it's so beloved by kids, by whole families.
Yeah, it's a family show.
And you're an ambassador for that show, for that experience.
Of course, exactly. And you know, with great power comes great responsibility. Not that I have great power, I don't. I just turn up and learn the lines and, you know.
But you still travel on the tube, don't you? I mean,
I do. I travel on the tube every day. I mean, I wear a hat and I walk quite quickly. Yeah, because I'm a firm
when you're on the
believer.
tube, so you're walking up, you're quickly up and down the tube. So
Oh, no,
people
yeah.
I think that I would notice that if there was someone.
I always get the end carriage. Look, I'm kind of giving my secrets away here. I always get the end carriage, but I like the walk and I like going down the escalator and I like to sort of travel to music.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice experience.
Yeah.
But I've seen you wearing your hat. I've seen you wear a kind of big floppy beanie hat, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I saw Matt. I was on a plane once, and Matt was on a plane. I think we were travelling out to the same event.
To Comic-Con.
For different
reasons. And we were
reasons.
like next to each other, weren't we?
Yeah. And Matt's there, and then Matt, at one stage, he fell asleep.
Yeah.
And I said to my wife, I'm going to wake him up with a kiss. To see how he reacts. But I resisted. How would you have enjoyed that, do you think?
I think I'd have been intimidated and then sort of encouraged. It's always nice to be woken up with kisses.
It is nice, isn't it? In the first show that we see, and as you said, it's the Saturday of Easter weekend.
Yeah.
Are they called spoonheads?
The spoonheads, yes.
Spoonheads.
What would happen if aliens got in your Wi-Fi? Isn't the world obsessed with Wi-Fi
Well,
now?
hold on. That's what happened with my neighbours. They got into my Wi-Fi, and I was very upset.
Yeah.
I don't know how they cracked that password.
Yeah. But imagine if they had spoons that were heads and they could read your
Well,
mind.
my neighbours, one of them has a very large head. We have a clip. This is from the first episode back. It's on Easter Saturday. You're going to want to watch it. It's Doctor Who. Of course you are. Here it is.
Bigger on the inside. Actually, bigger.
Right, come on.
We're going to go back out there.
We've moved. It's a spaceship. We flew away.
Away from the plane.
Not exactly.
It's
The ship! I told you! It's all very sciencey!
the plane. The actual plane. Are they all dead?
Asleep! Switched off by the Wi-Fi! Never mind then!
What is going on? Is this real? Please tell me what is happening!
I'm the Doctor. I'm in aliens from outer space. I'm 1,000 years old. I've got 2 hearts and I can't fly a plane, can you?
No.
Oh, fine. Well, let's do it together.
Matt Smith as the Doctor, his own unique take. One of the greatest fictional characters of all time, of course. I mean, huge all over the world now. I mean, a global phenomenon, and just seems to get big all the time.
Yeah, which is exciting. And that has actually been one of the most exciting sort of journeys of my tenure is its evolution in the States and stuff, which is why we were going to Comic-Con.
Yeah, of course.
And all that,
And that's a big experience, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's great.
How do you keep... and I'm going to ask the guys here, because I know... I don't have film stuff or much stuff myself, but I know one of the things I've seen when I've been on sets, on other TV shows, or I've been on movie sets, there's so much hanging around.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much, and you have to keep engaged with it, and you're needed at the drop of a hat, and that's when you have to turn it on. But how do you fill those hours? What do you do? What do the rest of the cast of Who do when you have to just wait?
Well, you know, I'm quite lucky with Who because I'm in it a lot, so there is less sort of hanging around than you would get ordinarily. But you play games. You play games. I mean, you just sort of screw around, really. It's me and Karen and Arthur used to have a game with actors that came in called The Uncomfortable Touch.
So new actors who were just joining
New
the
actors.
cast.
So let's say you're an actor, and you're there, and it's our first day on set, and there you are, and you've come in, and I've gone, oh hi, lovely to meet you, and Karen's here, and Arthur's here, and whatever, and then we'll go. And I would go, for instance, I'd go...
I'm mainly looking at Karen. Can I be honest with you?
That's fine. You can look at Karen, but I might go... I'm really excited about today. I can't wait for... How have you been? Or you might go, how's home?
Wow.
Yeah. But it's you know, you sort of need a couple of people there to...
Wow. So kind of an embarrassing moment. You would test their...
Yeah, you would test the result, but obviously there's a moment, and sort of me and Karen...
So someone's there, and that person doesn't know what to do?
Yeah, and then, but, you know, there's, like, Karen and Arthur there going sort of...
And would they notice it, or would they ignore it?
Well, it's how long you can hold your nerve for.
So what's the most What's the right word here?
How far have
How
you
far
been?
have you gone?
Never the crotch.
Never there?
No.
Okay, do you ever...
Sometimes the bum, if
So
it's
a
a
whole
man.
of the bum?
Yeah.
Okay, and have you ever... Like that sort of thing?
No.
Actually, you've got really small buttocks. I got both in... I got both in one hand. It was like, I thought I was poaching eggs for a minute. It was... So that's a fun way of passing the time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Or some people read. I tend to be quite busy, to be honest, because there's a lot to do.
You're in most of the scenes.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, Doctor Who, long may it continue to be such a huge success. Firstly, do you know how much longer you're going to feel comfortable doing it? How much longer you're going to stay in the role? Have you began to think about moving on from it yet, or are you still very happy doing it?
I'm very happy doing it. I mean, I go and I do the anniversary special, and then I go away for a bit, and then I come back and we do the Christmas special. And it's sort of one of those jobs that you have to take year by year, really, because it's 10 months a year. It's all-consuming, so I don't think you can plan sort of 5, 6 years ahead, or even 2 years ahead. So it's a year-by-year thing, and at the moment it's 2013, and, you know, we'll see what 2014 holds.
But you've got time to do other projects in between, because I believe in between now and, I don't know, is it just after, I guess it's after you finish the 50th anniversary, you're going off to make this movie with, this is incredible news, written by and directed by?
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling?
Yeah.
Who's in it as well, I guess, is he?
No.
Oh, he's not in it.
He's not. And, you know, it's a sort of this wonderfully Lynchian story, and you're a great film fan as well, and as am I. So I was very excited to meet him.
Well, I'm sure you were. Look at that. No wonder. Look at that going on there.
I know.
He kept covered up, I'm sure, for you. But that's what an exciting thing. What a great thing.
Yeah, really exciting. And we're off to Detroit to film it. And you know, he's written a really top film.
Well, he's a superbly talented actor and clearly a smart guy and a nice guy.
Absolutely.
But that's great. And, you know, I'm thrilled you're having the success you are. I love seeing you as a Doctor, but I can't wait to see you in that movie. It sounds like it's going to be terrific.
I think so, yeah.
Now, one thing before you go, let me ask you about the 50th anniversary special Doctor Who. It's going to be just about the biggest Who experience there is. We can talk about some of this now, can't we?
We can talk about some of it, Jonathan, yeah.
OK. What can we talk about? What's it going to be?
What do you want to know?
How many shows?
Well, without giving too much away, it will be undoubtedly the biggest and the best and the most... I think one of the most exciting years for the show, but I think this particular event, I mean, it's 3D.
So we will have a Dalek coming towards the screen, surely?
You might do.
That's
But you might have a number of aliens, Jonathan. I think people will be... It won't disappoint.
Matt, when your mum is a little bit cross with you, does she call you Matthew?
Yeah, my dad does more.
So which is to Matthew. OK, so Matthew...
Get down these stairs.
No, never mind.
Sorry.
I'm being your dad now.
All right.
You're doing a scene, OK?
All right, OK, sorry, go on.
Matthew?
Yes?
Tell us one thing about the Doctor Who special.
He's from Blackburn, so I'd like to...
Hey, Matthew.
Yeah?
Now, listen up. Is that Blackburn? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you know...
Matthew, pay attention. Tell the nice ladies and gentlemen one thing about Doctor Who 50th anniversary right up moment. One thing.
One thing.
One thing. Give us one little tidbit. Come on, there must be one thing you can give away. I know you're under heavy pressure from the BBC.
Heavy pressure.
Right, I know that.
Yeah,
and I've been there, so I know how that can feel.
Yeah.
So I want you, within the parameters of what you can get away with, and I only
have to go back and face the music.
Yeah.
What can I tell you?
There must be something you can tell us. Don't be a tease.
No. I mean, I've got to be diplomatic, though.
Yeah,
because, you know, if I give the whole game away,
yes, no, we don't want you to give the whole game away. And I don't want it to be spoiled. I don't want to spoil it for anyone. And I understand that's part of the thing, but if you can whet our appetite with a little snippet of Who gossip.
Well, the thing is, with Who, you'll understand this more when you've watched it. Paintings. That's all I'm saying.
It's probably the worst snippet anyone has ever... But I won't push you any further, because I feel you've probably already got yourself into some trouble.
Yeah, probably. Stephen's going to whoop me tomorrow, but yeah, sorry, Stephen.
So, it's great to have you here. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in saying thank you to Mr. Matt Smith.
Thank you.
Great, as always. Thank you so much. OK. Thank you, Matt. Join me after the break. I'll be joined by the wonderful Ruth Jones. Don't go away. Welcome back. OK, let's get my next guest out. She's one of my favourite comedy writers and performers. It is the wonderful Ruth Jones, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Like the sexy boots as well. It looked like your tights were just going down and became boots. They're kind of black boot tights.
Yeah. You like the effect?
Yeah, I like the effect very much indeed. You look gorgeous, Ruth.
Thank you very much.
You look like you're getting younger every time I see you. I can't believe it. What's happening?
Well, I've been spanked, I think.
Ah, you're wearing your Spanx.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on in here.
Okay.
Yeah, you get to a certain age, you know, and you just need that help. Can I put my feet up?
You can do, relax, do that, show off those boots. Hey, so, but Spanx are weird because the Spanx, even the big pair, they look like that, don't they?
Yeah.
They're only about that big.
No, you can't have a good night when you've got Spanx on. Unless you're off your head, I should imagine. But, it's got to be one or the other.
Do you always remove them properly, or have you ever had someone cut you out of them?
No, I always clear up after me. I always remove everything.
I had a Spanx T-shirt given to me.
Did you?
Yeah, and it hurt my shoulder so badly just trying to get into it that I had to give up. I mean, they're dangerous items.
Yeah. Would you ever use stuff like that, then, to help you?
Yes, I do stuff like that.
Really?
I obviously don't at the moment, but yes, I would. Hey, you know, talking to Matt Smith, and of course we were talking to him about The Doctor, and that's a role which he's always going to be associated with.
Yeah.
Just as you are always going to be associated with Gavin and Stacey, of course. Because enormous success for you and for James, and just a great series. What a great memory for everyone who loved it and watched it. And that must still follow you around. You must still get a lot of comments, a lot of kind of feedback from that.
Yeah. I did get it quite weirdly at a funeral, and it was after the funeral outside the crematorium. And I was quite sad, very sad, and somebody came up to me and they went, what's occurring? I'm at a funeral? You know, but I think people just don't, you know, it's a sort of it's a way of being affectionate, I guess.
But I suppose also there's a lot of love for it, so that's what it is. They want to show you that affection.
Yeah.
Now, there's an American version happening.
Yes.
Is that right? So what will they do? What's their version of Wales? Where have they set it?
Well, it's very exciting because James and I are executive producers on it, so we get to see the script. And basically, Gavin and Smithy, I don't know if they're going to change the names, are living in New York City, and Nessa and Stacey live in Dillsburg, Pennsylvania. What they've done is they've been quite true to the original, and that there are actually lines of dialogue still in there, which is lovely, but they've taken it much further beyond that, and they've really made it their own, and it's brilliant. And they're filming it next week.
Wow, are you going out for that?
No, but if it goes to a series, I'd love to go out there. I'd love to be in it.
That would be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Stella, because Stella is your big hit since then. And that, I mean, I would have thought it takes some courage to come straight out of something as successful as that. So I'm going to write something else, I'm going to write it on my own, do it. Is it based on real experiences for you, or is it based on characters you actually know, people you know?
There's a new character in series 2 called Auntie Brenda, who I guess is a little bit inspired by my grandmother, because she was very much Welsh and tell it as it is, you know, and she'll say lines like, manic depressives I can handle, anorexics won't give them the time of day. But there are characters in there, like Paula and Di, who have this really quite mad sex life, and people go, oh, did you base it on yours? And I think that's for me to know, and you to find out. But you know, we've got a bit of sci-fi in there, because Paula and Di, who like to explore the more creative side of their sex life. One of their fantasies that they like to act out is when Di plays an alien, and he comes and he numbs Paula with his probe. You know, it's from one of those sort of 1950s sci-fi films. They reenact that.
Like an alien abduction kind of thing?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we've got a bit of sci-fi going on.
And where's that come from?
I have no idea. I have a very dark, dank, weird mind in there.
Yeah.
And I like to just pull things out, you know.
OK, have a look at this. This is, if you haven't seen Stella, I think you will very much enjoy it. This is a very funny clip.
Hiya. All right, Stell.
Never been better, Reed.
Who put that cocking smile on your face, then?
Oh, wouldn't you like to cocking know? Yo, Mrs. B, you is looking mighty fine divine. Here you go. There she blues.
What in God's name's the matter with you? Have you been up all night drinking?
No, I've been up all night shagging. You should try it. See ya.
That's Stella. I love it because she is such a positive character, and she's...
Yeah, I mean, she's a single mum in her early 40s. She's got 3 kids. One of them's in prison at the start of the series. She's got, you know, the 3 kids by 2 different dads. And it is about day to day, but she's got very weird and interesting friends and family. And Essentially, Stella is a love story, and it spans the whole 2 series. And I love a good, epic love story, and that's what it is, really, with comedy in it.
So, what are you doing after this, though? You're doing more Stella, I guess.
Yes.
And are you... Because you do a lot of acting outside of your own material. I mean, I saw you in there was the BBC show about Hattie Jakes that you acted in, I thought was brilliant. Do you like being on stage? Do you like doing that kind of acting as well?
Stage terrifies me, really. I would like to do it, but it just... Forgetting the lines, I just think, you know, at least with TV, you can go for another take.
Do it again, yeah.
But, no, Stella, because we're writing another series of Stella, so we're going to be doing that for the foreseeable future. And we have a production company, my husband and I, so we're getting that up and running with other people writing stuff that's nothing to do with me.
Let me ask you about, you know, we're talking about writing the sex scenes, is that you've been with your husband for a long time.
Yeah.
And you said you find there's a lot of humour in sex. Do you bring stuff from your bedroom in it? Does he mind if you write stuff? Is there... Are there things, you know, because it does become very different. If you've been with someone for a long while, that side of your life is very different to the way it was in the beginning of the relationship. When you can be serious and keep, like, a sex face on, for example.
What's this? You show me your sex face.
It's one of a few sex faces I have, yeah.
Isn't it more... I don't know, shouldn't you pout a bit more? It's very serious, isn't it, the early days of a sex face?
Because you feel it should be, because you go... Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to find out, I'll do that.
I love the... You sound like, I don't know, a very friendly dog.
I notice you're not sharing any of yours with me.
I'm not sharing anything.
Well, let's have one bit of your sex face.
Oh, my gosh.
Come on. That's not it. That's not it.
I'll show you my sex face later, Jonathan.
OK, I'll tell you on that. Lovely to have you. If you haven't seen Stella, it's out on DVD. It's great fun. Of course it is. It's got Ruth Jones in it. Ladies and gentlemen, Ruth Jones. Thank you, Ruth. Join me after the break when I'll be chatting to the one and only Sir Ian McKellen. You won't want to miss it. To the show. Let's get my next guest straight out, shall we? On stage or on screen, he is perhaps our greatest living actor. Ladies and gentlemen, before he comes out, just a reminder, here he is as the wonderful Gandalf.
Bilbo. Here. This is about your size.
I can't take this.
The blade is of elvish make, which means it will glow blue when orcs or goblins are nearby.
I have never used a sword in my life.
And I hope you never have to. And if you do, remember this. True courage is about knowing not when to take a life, but when to spare one.
There he is in action in The Hobbit. It is Sir Ian McKellen. Lovely to see you again. Ian McKellen, ladies and gentlemen. So, Ian, how lovely to have you here.
You know, I always thought this show was sort of done in your front room. And this was the view out of your window. And all the guests were waiting in your bedroom, lining up for you. But,
waiting for what, I wonder?
Well, exactly.
Waiting for release. They told me, during the commercial break, they said to me, you know what we were watching Sir Ian in the green room there, and he keeps opening and showing the contents of his briefcase to Matt Smith. What do you have? Can you tell us what's in this case?
It's a briefcase. I should have brought it with me. It's my most prized possession.
Well, Matt, would you bring out the briefcase?
Yeah, I do.
Would you mind running out? So you brought your briefcase
There's a little story to it.
OK, I didn't know anything about this. So...
No, well, you wouldn't. No.
No, because it's your briefcase. I can't wait to find out.
Well, I'll start the story. I was at... Here
he is.
He's my new friend.
You're lovely, mate.
No, can you sit up?
No. Stay for a minute.
I'll stay for a moment.
Stay for a minute.
I was at a charity auction, you know, where they put things for sale. And this was for sale.
It's a very smart case.
And I wanted to buy it because, can you see, there's two initials on there.
The initials are L-O. L-O. You want to put a third one there, L-O-L, because that's what all the kids are saying.
Yes, but why would I be interested in a...
Ah.
Who?
Okay. Laurence Olivier.
Laurence Olivier, now, who was the hero of my youth. And this was for sale. Joan Plowright, his widow, had given it for... And it just fits a script, you see. That's all it gets in.
Wow.
And I was outbid by Sting, who was at this do.
Sting?
And my 60th birthday...
Never mind that. Sting, what a for a start.
Well, that's what I thought, but on my 60th birthday, this arrived all wrapped up as a present for me.
Wow.
I know.
As I said, Sting, what a lovely guy. I've always said that about him. Why don't we send Matt back? Because Matt...
No, please.
Can I see you again?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he's not got a girlfriend, and, you know, that's...
There's a twinkle in your eye, McCallum. Hey. You know what? As they say, you don't ask, you don't get.
There you go.
Well, yes, because you've been here. This is the exciting thing. There's a sitcom coming on TV. I've seen the first episode, laughed uproariously from beginning to end. For a start, what an incredible cast. Alongside you in it, there are two of the most famous, respected actors in the business. Number one, Sir Derek Jacobi.
Yes, my own
How incredible is that? And also Francis de la Tour.
Yeah.
And many other fine acting performers. Tell us the premise, because it's a fabulous idea.
Well, I got the script, and it was called Vicious Old Queens. And I said, I'm not old. It's about two gay men. You can tell. Look at us.
Yeah. An adorable old gay couple.
I know. We've been living together for 48 years in Soho, and the world's passed us by, really. We keep the curtains closed all the time. And, well, there we are. That's the story. And they're perfectly horrible to each other. That's the way they get through life.
But what's interesting is it's very broad in a good way. It reminded me of Golden Girls a little bit.
Absolutely.
You know, it was a very welcoming comedy. And what was, I thought, so sweet, if you'll forgive me for rambling back, your thing is, clearly they still do love each other.
Of course. Yes, if they didn't, it would be intolerable.
And there's a rhythm between the two of you. I hadn't realised that you hadn't done something like this before together. This is the first time you've actually... Is it the first time you've ever worked together?
Oh, well, Derek and I were at university together, and we acted a lot there, but then we went our separate ways. And because, on the whole, we played the same sort of parts, we never got together in a play. And, no, this is the first time for over 50 years.
Did you ever have a relationship, the two of you?
I beg your pardon? No, it wasn't for want of trying. He was... I mean, Derek was gorgeous. Tight trousers... quiff here, orange hair, duck's arse at the back, you know that look?
Yeah.
Oh, and... but, you know, this was the 1950s, and I tell you, if you were gay in the 1950s, you didn't dare risk telling anybody else you were in case you got reported to the police and put in prison, frankly.
It was illegal, or aspects of...
absolutely illegal to make love, but... Derek was clearly gay, and he just happened not to fancy me, so... Oh, thank you. I've got by. Oh, don't worry.
This might sound absurd, but whenever, you know, and I know, obviously, you lived through that period, but when I've read about that period, I've seen shows that deal with that period and seen films, part of me thinks that there must have been, in a way, even though obviously it was intolerable, the way society dealt with gay men in some ways, at the same time, the underground scene must have itself been very exciting.
That is what some people say. Not for me. Yes, I do hear people of my age saying, oh, it was much more exciting. But what's exciting about having, when you shook someone's hand, to shake it in a certain way in case you got a message back saying that I'm gay too? Or queer was the word we used about ourselves. Horrible. No, there were no gay bars to go to. There's no way we could obviously meet people like yourself. There was no gay literature. There's no way you could go out for the evening and be yourself. You had to do it behind closed doors. And that's exciting every so often, but not throughout your life. No.
Have a look at this. This is a clip from Vicious. It's the end of April sometime here on ITV, and it's going to be a hit. Have a look at this. It's so much fun.
So who were you squawking at on the phone just now?
My mother, if you must know.
Was she calling to tell you when she'd be dying?
She was very distraught.
Right, did you finally tell her about us?
I'm waiting for the right time.
It's been 48 years.
And there has not been a right time.
So his mother doesn't know you're a couple?
No, she gets to know in a later episode.
Have you filmed the whole series? Have you already done it?
Yes, the first series, but now we're doing a Christmas special, so that...
So they're confident.
There are going to be 2 Queen's broadcasts on Christmas Day.
I've seen you live on stage, and you're an incredible stage actor, and that's kind of, you know, where your career was for many years, and then cinema came knocking, and now TV as well.
How did that happen?
Well, it's just incredible that
Why did that happen?
But you're in such huge... because you can do it.
But, yes. The thing was, I think I've got better as an actor. In fact, I know I've got better as an actor.
No, I would disagree.
Oh, thank you. You mean I've stayed as bad as I always was?
No,
Thank you.
I'm joking, you know.
No. Yeah, well, suddenly I'm in films that people want to see.
Well, really, the blockbuster movies, obviously The Hobbit, the Lord of the Rings trilogy, The Hobbit, which they managed to take a very slim book and make that in trilogy, so
Very clever,
good luck with that. But it will be huge. And the X-Men
Do you know
movies...
why that is?
Why is that?
This little thin book. How can they make 3 big movies? It's the difference between literature and cinema. Tolkien writes, the 2 mighty armies met on the plain.
Yes.
Film, such a literal medium, has to show you the armies.
And that's 10, 15
minutes. Well, that
minutes.
takes forever.
Yeah.
But, so it's not that they've expanded the book, it's just that they've given images to the book.
Made it come alive.
Yeah.
On screen.
Hopefully.
And you're back as Magneto in the new X-Men movie, which is exciting because the last film was great. But it went back to the beginning of the X-Men.
Yeah.
And now, you know, I'm a huge comic book fan. This is based on one of the best X-Men stories of all time, Days of Future Past. You and Patrick Stewart, of course, who is Professor X series, and you've known each other. I know you're working on many projects together.
Yes. I'm going to marry Patrick. But no. Well, how else do you put that? I am going to officiate, yes, at his wedding.
So how come you're legally allowed to do that?
Well, I don't know, but apparently in Massachusetts, I don't know where I don't know, we're in the middle of America somewhere, yeah. You get anybody along, a friend, and I read out the words, and Sonny and Patrick will then be married. Wow. I declare you man and wife.
Have you had experience of this kind of thing? Do you know?
I've done it once before with 2 guys having a civil partnership.
Here in the UK?
Yeah.
What a nice experience that must be for you and for them.
I was crying my eyes out.
I bet. Well, that would probably spoil it a little bit. I mean, if you're blubbing all the way
through. But what do you wear when you officiate at a wedding?
Well, what did you go with?
Well, last time I went with a sort of gown, a white... something I bought in India. It was rather fetching. But you mustn't upstage the bride,
how
obviously.
How can you not upstage them if you're floating in like some sort of cherub? An elderly cherub wafting in. Darlings, are we ready? Oh, I'm so emotional.
Yes, well.
I apologise, I got a bit carried away there.
That's nice.
Okay, next time you come back on, will you please bring a photograph and show us whatever it is you wear to officiate at Patrick Stewart?
Well, I'm sure it'll be on Google. You'll find it somewhere.
Probably be, if you wear a big enough hat, it'll be on Google Earth. We'll see it from above. And now we have a clip, and I hope you don't mind us showing this, but there's a sort of an anniversary theme.
I do mind you showing.
Well, we're going to show it.
Yeah.
This has just turned up. They thought this was wiped, and it's just turned up. It was Sir Ian McKellen's first ever television appearance. And this is from 1964. So we're coming up for the 50th anniversary of this appearance, and it was the Indian Stories of Rudyard Kipling.
Correct, yes.
Where was this filmed? Do you remember where this was filmed?
Twickenham, probably.
Okay. And was this a big... Did you feel
excited? Well, you can tell I have no idea what I'm doing. And I'm speaking in the most ludicrous voice.
You are?
I mean, it's worth saying in advance, and I come from Lancashire. Well, you can tell, can't you?
Yeah, you can still hear.
Yeah. But when I started, you weren't allowed to be from the regions. Yeah. Not if you were going to be in classical theatre. You had to put on a posh voice, and I did. You see this ridiculous voice. And thank God I've sunk back into my roots now. But I'm ashamed. And go on, show it to me.
Well, here we go. This is from 1964.
See, in front of me there was the tiger. So I walked up to it, took a single shot, fired, and that was that.
And how big was he?
Oh, I'd say, 11 feet.
11 feet.
Well, a darn sight bigger than any tigers you're likely to find in this part of the country.
Well, it isn't really tiger country, is it?
Precisely, but down in the central provinces...
but you're not so hot on the pig sticking, are you?
Sorry. That was a good... There's nothing wrong with that. a young actor still learning his craft, I guess, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But, you know, when I work, as I do with young actors, we've got one Juan in Vicious. At the age that I was then, who knows exactly what to do, is relaxed, and I think... What do I think? I think some actors can do it, are born able to do it, and others, like me, have to slog and learn. And if you wonder why I'm still at it, it's because I'm still learning and enjoying trying to get better.
It's a very charming thing to say, but I think you must, and I hope you know, that there's not a lot more for you to learn when it comes to acting. And if there is, then long may you continue to keep showing it to us. Ladies and gentlemen, the fabulous Sir Ian McKellen. Thank you. Sir Ian McKellen, ladies and gentlemen. And seriously, make sure you don't miss Vicious. I'm not sure exactly when. End of April. Hilarious. I can't wait to see the rest. I loved it. After the break, I'll be chatting to Rose Leslie, Kit Harington and Charles Dance from Game of Thrones. We also have music from the fantastic Stereophonics. Don't go away. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get my next guests out from the incredible Game of Thrones. Will you please welcome Rose Leslie, Kit Harington and Mr. Charles Dance. Here they are. Come on out, guys. Hello, Kit. Looking buff, Kit. You got a seat. Hello, Rose. Sorry about the cheese. Charles, how are you, sir? How fabulous to have you here. Thank you so much for coming along. You know, I've been saying it tonight, and I've been saying it to the audience, I'm just a huge fan of Game of Thrones. But there are, of course, some people who are as yet uninitiated. Let me turn to the older statesman of the group here. How would you describe Game of Thrones to people who maybe haven't experienced it yet?
It's set in a kind of fictional medieval land with a lot of violence and a lot of very raunchy sex.
There's a lot of rumpy-pumpy.
A lot of rumpy-pumpy.
Back then. Who do you all play? Charles, is it Tywin you play?
My name is Tywin Lannister, and I'm a kindly, benevolent father of a dysfunctional family.
Now, Rose, you play Ygritte.
I do.
And she's a wildling.
She is. So she is a wildling and she lives north of the Wall, so in a very kind of barren landscape. And, yeah, she's vivacious. She likes to take the piss out of Jon Snow and to tease him and antagonise him, which is a lot of fun. Yeah. But, yeah, no, she's got a balance as well. She's brutal. She gets a bow and arrow this season.
She's tough as well. And she's... but you play her sort of as... with a sort of a northern accent.
I do. I do, yes. I put on a different dialect.
And, yeah, and I didn't know, and I thought this was you, and now I meet you now, and you have... That is probably, and please don't take this away, the single poshest voice I've ever heard in my life. And even that laugh is remarkable. Kit plays Jon Snow.
Yes.
Who is... There are many heroes in the story, but he is certainly one of the heroes, isn't he?
I guess so, yeah. He's sort of one of the good people, if there are good people in there, I think. He kind of gets you know, a hard lot during the show. He gets some bad luck. But he's, you know, he's a good person, and he's on his own little mission up in the north of this kind of world we find ourselves in. So, yeah, he's trying to do the right thing.
Let's have a look at a clip. It's going to be showing here in the UK, Sky Atlantic, from the 1st of April. Can't wait for it to start again. Game of Thrones.
Death is coming for everyone and everything. A darkness that will swallow the dawn. Show them how it feels to lose what they love.
I'm going to light the biggest fire the North has ever seen.
The revenge you want will be yours in time.
Game of Thrones, back in our lives. There's a lot of fighting. It must be a very active show to be involved in. You've done weapon training, I would have thought, medieval weapons training. Have you acquired decent skills in this kind of weaponry?
I know, you used a bow and arrow, didn't you?
I got a bow and arrow this season.
And are you any good with the bow and arrow?
Ooh, I tried to be, but I had, like, some archery lessons, which was fun. I managed to split an arrow. And Kit loves hearing this story because I'm still not over it.
So hold it, so there was an arrow already out there?
Yeah, there was an arrow already out there, and it was And I don't, it was before we started shooting. It was like the first time I'd ever really handled a bow and arrow, and it was already there somewhere near the bullseye. And I just did it again, and it just split straight down the middle. Isn't that cool? Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
It will never happen to me again.
It's such a rich cast, and you know what's interesting about it is, and I don't know whether you had any concern going in there, but I mean, it's a very rich fantasy world as well. I mean, there are dragons in it, there are kind of undead characters appearing now as well.
Yeah.
And that's quite a departure for you. I mean, I think of you as being more kind of, you know, in the real world, you're acting normally.
Yes, I guess so. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there was a screening of the first 2 episodes, which I wasn't involved in at the Soho Theatre. Did you go to that? The first season. And I went to see what the thing was, you know, looking like, how it felt. And I was just astonished at the amount of rumpy-pumpy that is in it.
There's nudity and sex every 5 minutes. It's great.
It was all doggy fashion.
Of all the people to say that to me tonight, I didn't think that would come from you, Charles. I thought Kit would start talking about positions, but no.
But no foreplay at all. It was just kind of, you know, flip, wallop. Well,
hang on.
I said...
Flip, wallop? Sounds like you're playing pinball.
I said to the producers at the end of the screening, I said, you know, obviously the missionary position didn't come into vogue for a few years yet. And, you know, they said, well, we wanted it to be animalistic, Charles. And I said, well, it's certainly that. Yeah.
The writers, and it's an American production, it's over HBO in America. The writers, as I understand it, they kind of tease you as to what's coming up. They don't necessarily... Kit, they were kind of telling you things that are not even true.
They keep telling people in the series that they'll write new scenes where new characters die just off the cuff, and then people are like, I've died? And they're like, no, you don't worry about it. They get bored, they're not working hard enough.
They sound like terrible, terrible human beings.
Yeah.
But you guys aren't working together because you don't have scenes... I mean, maybe you do in this new series, but you don't so far have scenes together, do you?
No, we never meet, no.
This is the first time I've met Charles.
Huge cast. No storylines happening, and we just don't cross over at all.
And then who's the actress who plays Khaleesi? I'm not sure what her name is. I'm just trying...
Emilia Clarke.
So Emilia Clarke, who's beautiful in it, and she's off in the sunny part of the world. So you're filming in the frozen north. You're in kind of, it's like European climate. It's here. Yeah. And she's off, where is she? She's off somewhere sunny.
Morocco.
Wow, so she got the best deal.
No, she did.
Although she does do the most full frontal nudity. Charles, do you have any nude scenes coming up that we can look forward to?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Would you happily shed the skin for that?
I think it would be a bit inelegant at my age.
I'd like to see it. I mean, I've wanted to see you naked in the film for a while.
Really?
Yes.
That's a costume.
I've got a list. I mean, Ian McKellen's always getting it out. What? You are. I bumped into John Hurt after I saw your King Lear, and I said, I saw Ian in King Lear. He went, did he get his cock out? He always gets his cock out.
Yeah, but he's jealous, you see.
Well, it's a fine and... Anyway, Charles... I can't wait. If you're a fan like I am, you know it's going to be an exciting summer with that coming. Ladies and gentlemen, will you join me in saying thank you to Charles, to Rose, to Kit, Game of Thrones. Thank you, guys. Thanks to all my guests tonight. Next week I'll be joined by filmmaker and the real star of the Olympics opening ceremony. That's Danny Boyle. From the new movie Jack the Giant Slayer, we have Ian McShane and Nicholas Hoult, plus music legends Bobby Womack and Damon Albarn will be chatting and performing together. But now, playing Indian Summer for you, will you please welcome the fabulous Stereophonics!
Time that I see you, I like them both fills a room. The underbelly of Paris, she sings a favorite tune. She drink you under the table, she show you a trick or two. And every time that I left her, I miss the things she would do. She was the one for me. She opened my eyes to see she was the one for me. Well, alright. across the nation. And the rain of November, that's the time that we'd end it. She was the one for me. Well, alright. Vodka with Coca-Cola, cocaine tucked in her shoes, cigarettes over coffee, I hail her sip to her news. Yeah, she was the one for me. She opened my eyes to see she was the one for me. Well, alright. It was a cold September before the ending of summer. That's a thing I remember when she gave me a number. Went from station to station on a train across the nation. And the rain of November, that's the time that we'd end it. She was the one for me. Well, alright, 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 yeah.
Stereophonics, ladies and gentlemen.
Mark Wright, the Fonz and Vernon Kay team up with the Captains Holly Willoughby and Kelly Brook for more fun and games on Celebrity Juice over on ITV2 now. Here, Arnold Schwarzenegger stars in the all-action Mindbender Total Recall after the news.